Mapfumo. I work with the Food, Agriculture and Natural Resources Policy Analysis Network, known as FANAPAN. The research we are talking about is conducted in Malawi, Lesotho and Swaziland. The major problem we are trying to address is that of generating policy evidence that can inform policy-making processes that is currently lacking in most of the African countries, and those three are some of the countries affected by that problem. The challenge that we have is that focusing on the issue of climate change adaptation. This is a new area in terms of both scientific research and just focusing on the problems affecting common people in the predominantly smallholder areas of Africa. And when we look at ways to enhance their adaptive capacity and to provide them with options for adaptation, we find that there is not sufficient research right from capacity to the actual evidence to be able to enable policymakers to put that to good use and make informed decisions. What we are focusing on is the understanding that most of the communities we are talking about draw their livelihoods on agriculture, and this agriculture is broad. It involves also where they draw natural resources that support not only agriculture but their livelihoods and income sources. So as a result, we are looking at what possible scenarios are there in the future by way of modeling and downscaling those global models that are used to project and predict climate changes, and downscaling them to the local level to see how they will affect certain localities. On the other hand, we are also looking at the cropping systems that have been sustaining them, and through modeling also on cropping systems, which we try to match with the actual practices that farmers have. We try then to match the two and see where the knowledge gaps are in terms of technical issues and also in terms of what policy responses we might require. The overall objective is then to integrate those knowledge systems, contextualize those to specific districts in the three countries that we are working in, and put them to test to see if we can come up with solutions best fitting those communities. That's on the at the community level. But it will also enable us to build the capacity of the people who generate the knowledge, and also the people who need the tools to create the evidence, so that both the communities and these researchers with now new capacities can now engage policy and provide better solutions. The main challenges that we faced in the project and that we're trying to address in the process is one, the capacity of institutions. These are universities, research stations, so the research institutes, and also the extension systems that work with the communities and the communities themselves. So it's capacity at that level that we need. And then the other challenge is the tools to use This is a new area of climate change adaptation. Climate change itself may not be an old thing, but the real focus to say how do we deal with it is really a new concept in how people would want to address it. So the tools that we have traditionally been using do not necessarily apply. So we need new tools, including how we assess vulnerability, how we determine the costs and benefits. So that's another challenge. Then the third level of challenges is on how to effectively communicate that to policymakers. The major beneficiaries in this research, first is the universities, the research institutions, and the communities. The research institutions and universities will benefit in terms of getting the new tools and new approaches for working with communities. Then the communities will benefit from the capacities of those practitioners, as well as their increased awareness and access to the technologies in terms of crop production and matching crop production to the emerging climate constraints that they are facing.